What is your full name?
Cynthia Mullins,
Where are you from?
Berkeley, Michigan,
And how old were you on September 11, 2001?
31 years old.
What do you recall about traveling by plane before 9/11?
It was easy, and there were no restrictions or limitations as far as what you could bring on the plane. You could bring scissors, or people would knit. They brought knitting needles or liquids, like nail polish, and any kind of liquids were allowed.
What do you recall about security at airports or other locations?
There wasn't a lot of security, especially at the airports. You could just walk in, show your driver's license, show your boarding pass, and basically get on the plane.
What were the terrorist behaviors like before 9/11?
The terrorist behaviors, the attacks were more overseas, never on American soil.
Were you scared of being attacked by terrorists before 9/11?
Actually, I didn't even think about it.
Did you ever visit any of the locations of the 9/11 attack, and what do you remember about them?
I went to the World Trade Center as a tourist, and it was fun. It was a really cool, big, two big buildings. It was really fun.
On the day of the event and the weeks that followed, how did you find out about the attacks, and what were you doing at the time?
I found out about the attacks first on the radio. I was laying in bed. I was sick with the flu, and I was listening to a radio station that happened to be out of New York, and someone came running in the studio saying, "Oh my God, a plane hit the World Trade Center." And then I turned on the TV, and then I watched the rest of it unfold live on TV, the second tower and the rest of it.
What were your feelings or emotions when you heard about the attacks?
I was scared, really scared.
Were you with other people when you heard about the attacks?
No, I was alone.
What is your most vivid memory of that day?
I remember that day was the most beautiful day. It was the sunniest, most beautiful fall day.
Were you afraid for your safety or the safety of your family?
Yes, because no one knew what was going to happen next.
Did you do anything about this?
I called my husband. Friends of mine, we called each other to check in.
Were you personally connected to anyone in the towers, Pentagon, or planes?
No.
What do you remember about the nation and its leaders coming together in the days following September 11th?
I remember that there were no Republicans or Democrats. It was just the people of the United States were all together, unified as one, and everybody had American flags outside their house.
What did you think of the government's reaction to the attacks in the days and months that followed?
I thought the government's reaction was good. It was swift and just.
How did you feel about the decision to invade Afghanistan?
I thought it was a good decision.
How did you feel about the decision to invade Iraq, and why?
Well, I don't think that they really were able to prove that there were weapons of mass destruction in Iraq and that they were responsible for any part of 9/11.
How have the additional security measures at airports made you feel?
They made me feel safer because the terrorists used box cutters on the airplane, so they were really making sure that you couldn't bring anything that could be considered a weapon on an airplane.
How have the government's actions regarding surveillance of phone calls, emails, and social media made you feel?
It made me feel better because a lot of what happened on 9/11 is these terrorists slipped through the cracks. They were being watched, and they were able to take flying lessons and do all kinds of things because the surveillance wasn't tight enough on them.
Today, what do you believe is our nation's greatest security threat, and why?
I think our nation's greatest security threat, I honestly think that shopping malls could be a big place where a terrorist attack could happen, and there's no security inside shopping malls.
Do you think that terrorism can be defeated? Why or why not?
I think it can. I think with the proper surveillance and the proper intelligence that we can stop a terrorist attack before it happens. We have the capability of being one of the greatest nations in the world that we can stop a terrorist attack before it's going to happen.
What do you believe should be done to protect the United States?
Definitely greater systems of watching these people on these terrorist watch lists.
How do you feel about our continued presence in Afghanistan and Iraq?
Oh, that's a tough one. It seemed to be good in the beginning, but now it all seems to be unraveling.
How has 9/11 changed you?
It's made me appreciate the way life was before. Easier, more carefree. You didn't think about, if you're going to a big crowd or going somewhere or like flying on an airplane, like you didn't even think twice. You just got on the plane and you go to a big crowd, but now there's always that little thought that something could happen.
How has 9/11 changed our nation or the world?
I think it's changed the world because nobody is safe no matter where you are. Here we are, the greatest nation in the world, the United States of America, and we haven't had war on our soil since, you know, World War II, and we were under attack. And it can happen, things like this can happen at any time, where no one's you know, safe from war or attack.
What lessons should be learned from 9/11?
That we should be vigilant in, you know, watching out for terrorist activities and keeping an eye on each other, and that we're one nation, that we're not, you know, separate entities like Republicans and Democrats and left wing and right wing, that we're all, you know, unified as we're all one nation.
Did you know about the 9/11 Commission? If so, what are your thoughts about it?
A little bit. I knew that it was a commission to investigate what happened in 9/11, but I don't know enough about it to speak on it.
What would you want students to know about this day?
That it was a day that will forever change the course of history. It's one of those pivotal moments where you'll always be able to remember exactly where you were, what you were doing, and how you felt, and to not take life for granted.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.